Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. No, I'm sorry, I cannot do this, I don't have this enthusiasm of American YouTubers. So let me start normally. Hello guys, this movie is about for who of you fits the cabin crew job, fits the flight attendant job. I will tell you about my experience being a cabin crew, and I hope this movie will be interested and helpful for you. It's just about the starting. Let me tell you about my story. So let me tell you about my experience. I was a cabin crew for more than 2 years. For 1 year I was flying for the European airlines, cheap airlines, which the name is Ryanair, and I was based in South Italy. And then I got the job for the Etihad, which is the national airline of United Arab Emirates, and I was based in Abu Dhabi just for 1 year. I just stayed in this work for 1 year. So I believe that most of you are interested with the Middle East airlines, so I believe that the requirements which I'm going to say about in this particular movie will fit with all the Middle East airlines, although some of the European or American airlines could have different requirements, but these are just really details about differences. So I will tell you about this official requirements which are needed from most of these companies, from most of the airline companies, and then I will tell you about some of those requirements which I believe help you to get this successful job and to stay and to make this experience as a cabin crew as very wonderful and value experience for your life. So just let's start it. For who of you fits the cabin crew work? For those of you which are not afraid of flying. And this is very surprising for me that it's not written anywhere in any requirements. Maybe it's just obvious. I know that the fear of flying is very common and is often a situation for many of you. It does not mean that you cannot work as a cabin crew, but I believe it's better if you are not afraid of flying when you are starting to apply for this job. If you are afraid of flying, then you can try to challenging your fear by flying. I guess this shock therapy sometimes helps. I know the people which were for some time afraid of flying and then they just went to have their first flight and then they realized that there is no reason to be afraid. So this was a shock therapy which worked for them. I believe that for some of you it could work as well. So if you are afraid of flying, I will suggest you to challenge your fear by trying flying. About the age requirements, this work of cabin crew is for those of you which are not too young, neither too old. What does this mean? Most of the all the Middle East airlines, the requirement is to be at least 21 years old in the date of joining. What does this mean? It means that the recruitment time will get some time. So from the moment when you are going for assessment day till the joining date you will get, it will be at least gap of 1 or 1.5 months at least, but also not longer than 6 months, because you need to join the airlines from the moment till the 6 months of the assessment day. So if you are just before finishing your 21st birthday, just before that, so 1 or 2 months before that, then you probably will be able to join the company while you will finish 21 years old. The joining date is the date when you are moving to the country, to the Middle East, and you are starting your course to get to be a cabin crew. So if you are interested to get this job as soon as is possible, then I would suggest you to try to get it from the moment you are just before your 21st birthday. We have to remember also about that joining the airlines means moving to the Middle East country. There is no base in Europe of these airlines. These airlines has base only in the Middle East. So there are 3 of them, which I believe most of you are interested. It's Emirates, Etihad and Qatar Airways. The Qatar Airways has its base in Doha, which is the capital of Qatar, and Etihad, which is the national airlines of United Arab Emirates, has their own base in Abu Dhabi, which is the capital of United Arab Emirates. And then Emirates Airlines are having their base in the biggest city of United Arab Emirates, in Dubai. So all of these places are in the Middle East, and you will have to move to one of the cities in order to start this career, in order to start this job. Now, what do I think about the age? Which age will be the best to join the airlines? I believe that the age of 25, more or less, will be the most suitable age for you to join the airlines. Why is that? I believe, first of all, that if you wish to join the university, then you should do it first. You should finish your study and then you should join the airline. Airline requirements has no requirements about the previous experience. Just the requirements are about having at least middle education, which means that you don't need to finish the study in order to join the airlines, although I believe that this will be the best for you. Why is that? The cabin crew experience is very rarely, for very small amount of you, it will be a lifetime career, and it will be the lifetime job. Most of you will join the airlines, and after 1, 2 or 3 years will just leave the airline. Please think about it. First of all, if you have plans to finish university, please think about joining university and finish the education of the university first, and then join the airlines. It will be most cap. It's also important for your life now on, whenever you will decide to leave the airline, because I believe that the cabin crew experience is not experience which fits for many different positions and for many different jobs. It's a very specific job. Obviously, you can say that you have experience as customer service, with the customer service within this job, but except of that, the requirements which you are getting and the things which you are learning by this job, I found them difficult, easily adopted for another job. So I do not think that it's very easy to get the other job after having only the cabin crew experience job. But if then you have your profession, you have your study done, you have your university finished, then you have always chance to search for a completely different field, when your experience of cabin crew will be just additional good, but not the certain one which will give you the other opportunity for the job. Cabin crew job is for those of you who speaks English fluently. My experience shows that the most important is to get the fluent English, so no need the long time to think about, just to get it easily afterwards. Most of the recruitment process in all of these airlines will check your knowledge of English, and most of them will have 2 different kind of check. The first one will be a test which you will have to read and write in English. The test is about, I guess, the level of B2. in English knowledge, and then probably you will get also the oral test, which will be conversation with the native English speaker. Conversation should not be very difficult and should not be about difficult topics. Most likely it will be your favorite food, or the place you are going to go for a vacation, or your hobbies, so very simple things. So it's more important that you have this fluent in speaking English than that you are having a great skills of reading, for example. So just remember that the practice is most important. My experience shows also that it's better if you are not having the very strong foreigner accent while you are speaking in English. Some of these accents has Russians, some of these accents has native Arab speakers, but not all of them. Some of this very rough English accent have Greek people. So if you are able to work on that point with some logotherapist, it will be perfect. I guess it's important for them, so you will have not the strong foreign accent in English. The cabin crew job is for those of you who are able to reach 212 centimeters without shoes on the tiptoes. This is what the requirement says. It means obviously that within the hand and without shoes, but you can be on tiptoes, you should be able to reach the 212 centimeters. For most of you, it won't be necessary to check it, because the recruitment people are able, by seeing you, guess if you are able to reach this or not. But if they have any doubts about that, they will ask you to try to reach this to 12 centimeters by hand. Why it's so important? Because there are certain types of airplanes which has the bins closed from the up to down. This is how for example, this is how the Airbus have. So there is the bin where the guests are putting their luggage, and it's closed from the top to down. So you are able to reach this with the hand in order to close it. This is why they ask you for being able. I believe that if you are somewhere between 160 centimeters, you will be able to successfully join the airline. The cabin crew job is for those of you who are not having the tattoos in visible places. What does this mean in the regular basis? It means that your uniform should cover all your tattoos. It means that obviously there are some small difference between uniforms in different airlines, but most of them are covering the place from here, let's say, till the middle hand, and then till the knees also down. So all the back is basically covered, and then the up parts of leg is covered, and the up parts of hand are covered as well. None of you which has any tattoos in the neck or in the face or in the hands will be able to get this job for sure. Neither in the foot, because you most likely will be using the shoes, will be having the shoes which will show most of your leg, and the tights which you will be using are tights which can be see-through, so that's why it shouldn't be visible any tattoos in these places. If you have some of the small tattoos in this part of hand, I will not suggest you to try to cover them somehow by the jewelry, because most likely later or earlier they will get to know that you have this tattoo, and then you can just have some problems, especially if you will get to the country and if you will successfully pass your interview and you will get your joining date and you will leave, you will move to Middle East, and then while you are trained to be a cabin crew, they will get to know about your tattoo. Most likely, or it's just almost sure, you will be deported to your country, to your own country. So it's better for you to not have this tattoo. If you are having a tattoo but you still want to join airlines, just think about removing it, because there is no option to cover it with bandage or with jewelry. Most likely later or sooner they will get to know that you have tattoo. They are very strict about that. All the airlines, especially Middle East airlines, are very strict about that. It's also about piercing, which we do not say about it, but obviously for the assessment you should not wear any piercing in the nose or in the mouth. Just the only piercing which are not forbidden is this one which we have in the ears. It's just 2 holes each in one ear. There should be no more of them. There should be no more of the piercing in the ears. No other piercing in visible places in the body will be allowed. So we got over these official requirements, and now there is a time for requirements which I believe will help you to have the successful experience of cabin crew life. The cabin crew job is for those of you who like people. Obviously, it's obvious, I guess, for most of you that you need to like the people in order to have the successful experience as a cabin crew. You will have to do with many people during every day of your work. You will be facing enormous amount of people every day in your work. It will be from 200, let's say, to 600 every day. So believe me, it's really confusing. Most of the passengers will not be demanding, but there will be some of them which will bring their own problems from home or their own problems from work, or any kind of bad mood into the cabin, and you will have to face them. So the very important requirements is just to like the people. If you like the people seriously and you have it, and you just like them and you just like the contact with them, I believe that you are able to do this job. Obviously, there is another very big difficultness while you are working as a cabin crew for the Middle East Airlines. You will have flights to every continent in the world. So if you are European going to work as a cabin crew in the Middle East Airlines, for some of the Middle East Airlines, then you will be facing every day guests from many different countries and from many different continents in the world. It does not mean that you will have only flights to Europe, obviously. It's just important to know that there are many different cultures, many different style of life, and sometimes the things which are obvious for you will not be obvious for your guest on board. So stressful situation and threats coming from guests will be everyday life for you. So this is very important, so you have this patience for all the guests. It doesn't depend where do they come from. For the Middle East Airlines are very important as well if you are a native Arab speaker. Most of the flights of the Middle East companies, airlines, are or starting or finishing in Middle East. So you will have flights from your base to the outside base and then coming back. In each of these flights there is a requirement to having native Arab speaker on board. So most of you, if you do speak Arabic language, then it will be for sure additional profit for them to take you. It's always not enough native Arabic speakers in these airlines, so if you are having the knowledge of speaking Arabic, then it's very good for you. The cabin crew job is for those of you who are easy adaptable. What does this mean? It means that once you will be accepted for the job and you will having your joining date, you will have to move to the Middle East. It means that basically all your life will change. If you are not coming from Middle East, and most of the obviously most of the cabin crew are from different continents and different countries, then you are not really able to know how is the living in these countries. So believe me, it will be difficult for you, it will be challenging for you. First of all, it will be always a very big distance from your home country to the Middle East, and except of that, it's completely different culture, completely different style of life, which you will have to get adopted to. Not saying about the weather, which is really difficult in Middle East. It's really hot. So everything will be new for you, all the environment will be new for you. Most likely you will know nobody in the moment of joining, but then you will get new friends obviously at the place, because there will be many people at your place joining with you, so you will be able to make some new friendships. It needs for you to be adaptable, easy adaptable for new conditions. Remember as well that your shifts will be also the night shifts. You will basically flying every time during the day and every time during the night, so you need to be easily adapted for the time changings, for the jet lag things and so on. These are the main things of this work. It's never, besides you, it's always there. It's always there waiting for you. The time zones and time changings and jet lag is always waiting for you. So it's very important for you, so that you will be easily adapted for all of those new conditions. The cabin crew job is for those of you who generally have good health condition. What does really means? It means the environments you will be working in, so the cabin and the airplanes which you will be flying with, are very difficult for your own health. The usual height of the flying is 38,000 feet. It means that it's completely different conditions than on the ground. It's less oxygen out there and it's much colder and so on. Obviously you will be closed in the cabin, so there will be no these signs of outside world coming to you, but be sure that your organism will understand that it's not normal what you are doing. It's obviously not the same as walking on the ground, flying in the air. For those of you which has irregular work of heart, some problems with the heart or problems with blood circulation, this work will not be for you. For those of you which has some long time problems with nose, ears or sinus, it will be difficult. This job will cost you a much problem and it not be the best option for you. Every time you will be starting or you will be landing, it will be painful for you, and I believe that these conditions are not able for you to join the airlines. Also, remember that in the beginning, while you will join the airlines, you will have the medical assessments and all the necessary medical check, which has the blood check, and then there is a Röntgen photos of your whole body and also the Röntgen photos of your health, the teeth health, in order for you to check what is your general condition of health. So if you have serious health problem, I do not think that this demanding work will be suitable for you. You need to be in good condition in order to fly, and you need to be fit for fly for always. Last but not least, the cabin crew job is for those of you who like to put the makeup on. Yes, definitely. and you need to like this. If you are interested with the makeup, fix your hair and put your makeup on, then this job will be lovable for you, because you will have to do the certain things every day, and you will need to have your lipstick on for all the day, sometimes more than 14 hours, sometimes more than 16 hours. So if you like just to have your makeup on, to put your makeup on, this will be perfect. If not, then you will have a problem like I was having. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it will be helpful and interested for you if you are planning to join the airlines. Please refer as well to my other videos about the cabin crew job, and bis nächstes Mal. Tschüss!